everybody, and welcome to the 52 Scott Podcast for another episode of Black Friday. I'm your host, K Money, and in the building with me, my co-host, Freddie G, Slash, and Comedian 96. Collectively, we are the Mind of Men. You can find us on Twitter at 52 Scott Podcast, Instagram and Facebook, the 52 Scott Podcast, and if you're on YouTube, please don't forget to like and subscribe. What's up, fellas? Welcome to another Black Friday. Got a question coming straight out the gate. When I say the word black elite, what comes to you guys' mind? Or who comes to your mind if I was to say the black elite?
Okay, so when I think of elite, no matter what field, what you're doing, you're in the top percentile of that field that makes you elite. So, sports analogy, right?
Okay.
Let's say a quarterback. When you say a quarterback, you're going to name the top 3 quarterbacks or maybe the top 5 out of it's more than 32 quarterbacks, but just speaking of the starting quarterbacks, if you name the top 5, those are your top tier, those are considered elite. Then you go down to your second tier. When it comes to acting, you name all your top actors. These are your elite actors. So I think when I hear the word elite, the top in your field of whatever you do, that could be money making. That can be what you've done performance-wise. Of course, that contributes to your money. So I think that's what makes you elite.
That's a great definition, man. And that's pretty close to what how Wikipedia defines it. And I'm going to read how Wikipedia has it. The black elite is an elite, either political or economical in nature, that is made up of people who are in black I'm sorry, let me back up. That is made up of people who are of black African descent. In the Western world, it's typically distinct from other national elites, such as the United Kingdom's aristocrats. It goes a little deeper, but the way you define it, Freddie G, I think that's a great definition, because basically I wanted to talk about who do we consider in today's world to be elite, and based on your definition, I'm gonna start off with sports. Someone like a Serena Williams, would you consider to be elite?
Absolutely. Simone Biles as well.
Simone Biles in gymnastics. Comedian 96, I know in previous shows I've heard you mention on several occasions how there's a group of people that's always like in the same shows, movies, or TV shows. Do you consider those folks to be elite?
In acting, I wouldn't say.
And feel free to name that group that you
right.
were.
I would. Okay, so there was a group with Gabrielle Union and
Gabrielle Union.
What's that
Regina
lady?
Hall.
Regina Hall. The little girl, the little baby. Keep calling her little baby. I know y'all know I'm talking about. She was on the Nickelodeon channel. She played in Biker Boys. I know y'all know what I'm talking about.
Megan
Good. All those, they were all in movies.
Nia
Long. Sort of in the same little huddle cliques of movies, along with Morris Chestnut and Shamar Moore. All those, even the comedian, what's his name? God, I can't think his name. I'm so sorry. But they were all, you would see them all in the same movies over and over, the same actors. So I wouldn't call them elite. I think those are more of just hand-picked actors. I would name Denzel an elite. He's an elite. That's an elite. What's the guy that played in Samuel. Those are elite to me.
This is more on the lines of what you were saying, Freddie G. To be part of the black elite meant not only wealth, but also education, influence, and political connections. Members of this small community attended schools such as Oberlin, Fisk, Harvard, and Yale. So in reading this last comment or verbiage. Do you feel education plays a valuable role in one being elite? Or do you think you can go to an average school like Texas Southern, for example, and still be considered elite? It all depends on how successful you are in your field.
Yeah, I think that I see how they would say that certain schools, like the ones you named, would make you considered elite. But the way I see it is every school has a C student. So Harvard has a C student. So Texas A&M has a C student. So I think that whatever field you get into, right, if you can take someone from Texas Southern that works in the same field as someone that graduated Harvard, but the person from Texas Southern is way better at the job than the person from Harvard. So when it comes to that particular individual in their field, they're elite. Let me give you an example. Contrary to how people feel about this particular sports commentator, or I think that Stephen A. Smith is elite. And he comes from an HBCU.
Sports analyst
Yeah.
Stephen A.
Yeah, and he comes from an HBCU. So I think that he's elite. He's the top of his field of what he does. And and he comes from an HBCU.
Yeah.
So I can see how education, but I think that that's more cliquish.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I think those that attend those universities that I mentioned, the Fisk and the Howard, not Howard, but the Harvards, I think folks that attend those type of schools, their mentality already, they probably already feel and think that they are elite just by attending those schools alone. Because the criteria just to get in those schools, it's a lot.
Another thing that makes you elite to me, and y'all might agree, is how you got there. If you got it through the mud, you know what I mean. If you were just not supposed to be there. Like you were probably in the hood, homeless, and then all of a sudden, makeup line, millionaire, billionaire.
So kind of like that a Tyler Perry type of story. Would
You
consider him elite?
As far as being or whatever he is doing, as far as doing plays, I would give him that elite title.
You said plays. This man got
movies and plays. Both.
Yeah.
So yeah, the way he got there, the way he did it, I would give him an elite title.
I can actually see the plays, and the reason being is because of how he was able to parlay the plays into creating his own Hollywood.
Right.
Yeah,
that's elite.
Yeah.
No one else has been able to do that.
That's elite.
Yeah, I thought Corey Holcomb could have done that. He could have at one point when he was doing the Black Jesus, the show Black Jesus. He had a little small window where he could have, but he didn't go that way.
If he would have done that, what would have made him elite with that role?
Because what would have made him elite? No,
Yeah, you say you thought that he had a small window to where he could have been elite. Elite at what? For Black Jesus.
Black Jesus. Well,
Elite.
it was on TV, right? So he could have created opportunities for other up and coming comedians. It's getting platforms for comedians, especially if they don't get unless they get a Netflix special or a show of some kind. Just the lower end comedians that you
help
never.
me to understand the Black Jesus. That was animation.
No. That was actually a show.
So that would have made him an elite comedian, is what you're saying?
I think if he would have stayed in that lane of acting or doing plays or staying in that lane, I think he would have been able to bring others on, and he would have got the same rise because he didn't start at the time as Tyler Perry, but it was maybe a few years after him. So I think he would have been on a higher plane as far as getting He could have been doing stage plays with comedians. He could have been still doing shows on TV with other comedians and kept it going because he already had a presence. That's what I'm saying.
But shows like Black Jesus was already out. You know, there were really no plays going around the way Tyler was doing it, which is what makes him in a class by himself.
Exactly.
In my opinion.
He didn't stay in the field. That's what I'm saying with Corey. He had a small window and it just didn't happen. I thought he could have done that, but it didn't because he was a comedian. Tyler was just straight acting and whatever. But comedy at the time was hot because Cat Williams had just came out. Kevin Hart just came out. So it was really hot during that time. That would have been his window to do it. That's what I'm saying.
I got you. I had a question earlier. You were speaking on depending on how one becomes elite, whether or not they got it in the mud. So let's say one pretty much, and I think we kind of touched on this on a previous show. One can, they have that word legacy or inherit. You can become elite just because your family is known. And I think that's pretty much how most blacks in the day, the ones that had money. Well, again, it's not always derived with just money,
right?
But I would think that those blacks back in history that had money, because they had money, the basically that generational wealth, that made them elite. Is that? How do you feel about that type of that person being considered elite because they inherited it?
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm asking?
If it's a generational wealth, then yeah, they inherited.
I can't give them the elite status for it. You inherited it,
but they are.
What did you do? What did you do?
That silver spoon.
Yeah,
so they didn't work as hard to get to where they are.
But it makes your family the elite also.
So they're able to maintain it though.
You have to look at it from the standpoint of how the wealth was made. Let's use Hilton, right? Hilton hotels is probably considered an upper echelons of hotels.
Right.
Well, we know at some point Paris Hilton is gonna get gonna inherit something, right?
Yeah.
What would the name Hilton would probably be considered elite.
Right.
So although you have that money passed down, but the name actually
carries itself.
Yeah.
I
would think that would probably, I don't know much about the Hilton hotels, but I'll just use that as an example. If there's an elite hotel or something like that, the name itself was made.
Right.
And so elite.
Okay. Well, a lot. We mentioned some folk that we consider to be elite. Majority being in sports and acting, but education is also. Can you guys think of some smart people, black people that we?
Yeah, absolutely, man. So many. I would start with Michael Eric Dyson. I think that he's awesome. I think Dr. Cornel West. I think that he's awesome. So believe it or not, and people probably disagree with me. I know Corey Holcomb would disagree with me. Dr. Boyce Watkins. So yeah, I think that they're when it comes to black media. I think that Roland Martin is elite.
I have to agree with you right there.
When it comes
J.Y.
to
Long.
So yeah, man, there's so many black folks who are
you forgot
elite.
Dick Gregory, huh?
Dick dead, man.
I'm just saying he's dead. Rest in peace. But you got a lot of.
You considered him to be elite when he.
Well, he's very educational. I'll say
he
that.
was. He dropped a lot of knowledge and a lot of dimes that went over a lot of people's heads.
Yes.
Will we consider Bill Cosby elite?
Absolutely, for what he did.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, for what he did and how
Yeah.
he changed the game on certain things. Of course.
Just because of what he did or was accused of doesn't take away his work.
Right.
So I remember his work. So y'all can paint his name, whatever, but I remember all the positive shows on the Cosby Show that they don't show these days.
Man, just his stand up, man.
Yeah.
Bill got some funny stand up, man.
With no cussing.
It's just unfortunate that what happened. I don't think it's tarnished. Well, it has tarnished his image, but we can't forget. He's already left his mark. In my opinion.
Yeah, he lived his whole life.
And it was a positive effect on majority of us blacks.
Yep.
He who is without sin cast the first stone.
Already. We haven't mentioned the elite in the music field, man. I wanted you to give your opinion on who you feel. And a lot of folks that come out with music already think that they are the shit, but I think to be elite in the music field, it takes not just you have to be musically inclined. I think it's just a variety of things that would make you elite. I think on the music side, and I just wanted your opinion on who you feel falls in that category.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Jay-Z.
I tried to give him a hint.
That's elite.
Yeah,
in the music industry, and I'll tell you why it's elite, because everybody signed to him. I mean, we mentioned that once before. He is the elite of the music industry.
So you think
sports and all of that?
Yeah, he has his hands on a variety of things, and not just music. So that definitely does put him in a class. Yeah. You about to say something, Comedian 96?
Yeah, you want to put Jay-Z there first, right? But I'm gonna say it like this: when I say get it from the muck, I would put. And you probably disagree with me. Maybe one of y'all will agree with me. I will put Master P there because of how he got it. And he signed a lot of different artists. I would give him that elite title.
Okay.
Because he didn't have nothing, and then he got something out of nothing. Whenever you do that, I got to give you that elite title. And you sign people around you. Yeah.
So what do you think about Barry Gordy? Would you consider him to be elite?
Of course.
Because he's one of the pioneers?
Yes, of course. Yeah, he put a lot of musical acts together, and put their albums together, and combined so many different people, bands, and all kind of stuff to create stuff, So that's what made him elite as far as being production. Yeah. Him and Quincy Jones also. I would say Quincy Jones would be elite,
most definitely.
In that area.
You're not gonna give Rihanna her flowers. That's why I tried to give you a hint earlier.
I mean, that's who you feel is the elite. I may not feel like Rihanna.
I believe she came up.
I did ask for his opinion, but you think Rihanna is elite?
I don't think she's. I mean, elite.
She's the only female musician that's a billionaire. I gotta set her apart from everybody else. Any other female musician billionaires?
You got a point.
So you got
it. You can't always equate finance to being elite. I know that may be a criteria in some cases,
right?
But let's break it down. Yeah. Let's break this down.
Okay.
She's known for roughly two things, and that is what?
Makeup.
And what else?
Music.
Now, in the music, when it comes to R&B singing or pop singing. Now, when we're speaking of pop and R&B, I'm not just breaking it down to females. I'm saying both, male and female. Would she be considered elite in the pop genre?
I got one rebuttal to that.
No, I'm just asking a simple question.
No, she wouldn't.
Okay, now, when it comes to makeup lines, would she her makeup be considered elite when it comes to all of the makeup lines that are out there?
There's a lot out there, man.
We're talking about the higher percentile.
Nah, I wouldn't say that.
Okay, so now we know she made some money. So now when you talk about her music and her makeup, is she elite?
Now here's the problem. Here's the solution to
No, hold on. Answer that question before you go into your rebuttal.
He's got one word for my rebuttal. Oh. The problem is billion. I'm done. That's my rebuttal. Okay. Billion.
So
what artist?
Just give me a second. Let me make sure I'm getting it. Yeah. So you said in music she's not elite. You said in makeup she's not elite. But then you said billions. So again, is she elite?
When you got a billion, you can be whatever you want to be.
So you basically saying because of her wealth that makes her elite.
I mean, if you got there, you're a female artist. See, that's the problem y'all not understanding.
She didn't make the
They
billions
already
from music,
it
though.
doesn't matter how she made it. She didn't do it laying
saying
on her
female
back.
artists.
She got it.
But you keep saying female artists. But if you
Let's
have
just
to consider her makeup
agree
line,
to disagree. She's an elite to me. To y'all, I don't know what she is.
I'm not. Well, I'm disagreeing that she's not elite, but I'm just saying you keep saying female artists. So when you say artists, you have to consider the music. But she was also an entrepreneur.
Rihanna,
and that's where the billions came.
Rihanna, I ain't even trying to tap. I think you elite. I wouldn't mind, but I'm just
Okay.
Let's stop.
Oprah Winfrey is elite.
That's good. Yeah.
There you go.
She's elite, not Rihanna.
But see,
the
and the
difference?
point that Freddie G was trying to make. Okay, name a makeup line that you feel that's elite. A makeup
Probably
line.
CoverGirl.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what's Rihanna's cover? What's her makeup line called? Do you know? But do you consider her makeup line one of the elite?
No.
So
I did say that.
So that's why
the
that's
point
what the argument is.
For her to come from where she was, she didn't have these riches before.
It's
and
her
then-
wealth. Then that's what's making her.
How did you get to billions? Serena and Venus been playing tennis their whole life and they ain't got billions. A lot of people
they
have
elite.
been doing music
But
their
they
whole life.
their
not-
receipts are the tournaments that they've won consistently. That's what make them elite.
Exactly, and I agree with that.
Tennis
I
may
get
not pay
that.
like
I get that, but I feel like if you're able to increase your whatever you're doing financially, and you did it positive, you didn't do anything negative, and to get to $1 billion, a young lady at that, man, hey.
So it's again.
She beat Oprah.
It's her wealth.
At her age,
it's
she
her wealth
beat
that's
Oprah
making
to
her elite,
billion.
in your opinion, though. It's not her music.
Oprah didn't hit billions till she got to her 50s. I think Rihanna was still in her 20s.
Answer K Money
sorry,
question.
man.
Answer K Money question.
What did he say? Sorry.
It's her wealth, basically. That's why you're considering her to be elite, because it wasn't.
It's how quickly she got her wealth. I'll say that. Not her wealth. How quickly he got it.
So you said how quickly,
not the
she
wealth,
got-
'cause I don't know.
Okay, so has she made those billions 2 years? No, right now. Not how quick, but she ended up eventually getting there. But she just didn't do it quick. Would she be considered elite? Same money, she just didn't do it
That's
quick.
Oprah.
No, I'm
Oprah
asking
didn't
you
do it.
about Rihanna.
Oh, go ahead.
If you said what makes Rihanna elite is how quickly, and you stress the word quickly. Hold on, let me finish. How quickly she got the billions. My question is if she got to those same billions, but it took her longer, would she be considered elite?
I think anyone that get to a billionaire status and what they do should be considered elite.
So it doesn't have. Hold on. Okay, I can respect that.
Okay.
So it doesn't have anything to do with what you stress. You stress the word quickly. Now you're saying it's anyone that's a billionaire is elite, which means that you're saying that it's finances that makes them elite.
And that's okay. I'm not disputing that. That's all right. My argument is
But this argument is just how quickly she got there at a younger age.
You just said it wasn't about that. You said anybody.
He gonna make me eat this microphone. That's what's gonna happen here.
Yeah.
You like the way it's shaped?
I shouldn't.
Wow.
Next question.
Well, there is no question. How much time I got left, man? Cause
It's over with a long time ago.
let me get to our black fact. You can't take back, man. A chief of the Crow Nation, James Beckworth. He was the son of an American planter and his enslaved African American mistress. Beckworth was regarded as the most important black mountain man in the history of the Old West. So I guess back in the Western days, he was one of those rich black cowboys or Indians. If he was a chief of the Crow Nation, I would imagine he had some Indian in his blood.
Yeah, it had to be.
But Beckworth doesn't sound Indian, but
It doesn't.
he is a black man according to Wikipedia. But that's our black fact you can't take back. Thanks for joining us, man. Y'all have a great one. This concludes another Hot Black Friday episode. And be sure you tune in next week for Music Mondays. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at 52 Scott Podcast, Instagram and Facebook, The 52 Scott Podcast. And for all you YouTubers, don't forget to like and subscribe.